Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. Since Sunday, we've been seeing dramatic visuals from Hyderabad University. You can see on that screen, these are birds, peacocks, and other wildlife who are being uprooted from their homes. Now, this is happening because a 400-acre land at Kancha Gachibauli, which is adjacent to the Hyderabad University, is being cleared for an IT park. Now you can see from those visuals, they are students, they are protesting, and the police is really using force to disperse them. Some of them have been rounded up, they've been taken to the police station, they were released after their detention, but the protests are unrelenting. Students are continuing their protests. They're saying that this clearing of land should not happen, and it is not the best thing to do. For we are in fact joined by a panel to discuss this issue. Right from the Hyderabad University, we're joined by a group of students. We're also joined here, you have them on the screen, Yashavi Khaderbad. He's a student, and he's also joined by other students from the university campus where the students are protesting. We're also joined by other guests from an eminent panel, Dr. Adhanki Dayakar. He's from the Congress. He joins us. Welcome to Mojo Story. We are also joined by Harsha Pichara, who is a lawyer. Welcome to Mojo Story, sir. And we're also joined by uh, Vishnu Vardhan Reddy, who's a BRS spokesperson. But if I may start with the students, we can go directly, we can cross over to the Hyderabad University campus where the students are protesting. The point is that you have been protesting since many days. What exactly is the demand of the students? Why are they protesting?
The major demand of students are we need our land back. Campus land which was given then for the development of the sports complex was not being fulfilled, and it is being subjected for a case. And now that land is being used for the commercialization of an IT development hub. So we don't want that to be taking place, and there is a huge deforestation taking place, which is killing a lot of lives in the campus. So we want our land back. That's the only demand we have.
But the government says that the land belongs to the government. Uh, and then what is the problem? The government says that they own the land. Basically, I wanted to understand, is your protest directed at the university authorities or it's directed at the government?
So our protest is directly at the government, not towards the university, because we do have documents that this land belongs to university.
Right. But why do you decry the destruction of the green cover and demand the clearing of the land? Of course, there must have been a thought process that must have gone into it. Or do you think that no consultation was ever done and this was a move that came out of the blue? All of a sudden, you saw those JCBs and bulldozers removing the forest cover to create space for the IT park?
So it's very sudden movement taken place. So if you remember that day was Sunday and it's a long weekend. It's Ugadi on the day, and the land was being
Yeah.
be given to the register. So after certain days, the register has released a copy claiming that we didn't have any discussion and the land survey was not yet taken place.
Right. And what is the situation there right now? The students are continuing to protest. We see from those visuals, have you boycotted your classes? And there was a police crackdown. Is the police presence still on the campus, or are the students, all of them who were detained, have now been released? Are you attending your classes or you are on a strike?
No, we are on a strike. None of the students are attending the classes, and they have police have arrested all of most of the students who are protesting against this. Still, there are two students who are under police custody. They are not yet released. and we are not going to stop this fight till we claim back our land.
Right. So you're saying that the protests will continue, the classes will be boycotted till the time this move is taken back and the land is restored to its original form. Till the time that happens, you will continue to protest?
We, yes, we are going to continuously protest unless we claim back our land, and none of the students are going to attend any class till the moment.
Right. We can see on those visuals, students moved into these buses. Can you tell us over the last few days what exactly happened there?
So yesterday we started marching towards the east campus, and police attacked us. They tried to take us. And today, ABVP Akhlabad Vidyarthi Parishad started in protests all over the state, and most of the students tried to come here. And the current government arrested roughly 150 students till the time point, and we don't know what is happening in the future. And they have roughly deforested nearly 100 acres of the land out of that 400 acres of the land. And they claim there are no animals or no wildlife out there, but you can see clearly from the visuals that there is a huge forest which is being under deforestation. And I'm sure you must have even gone through the video where peacocks are crying for their
Yes.
house.
Yes, in fact, we did that story. We did that story yesterday. Those peacocks, they were crying when that land was being cleared. But the government claims that the land transfer was settled years ago. Why do you believe that university still has a valid claim over the land?
Can they show the documents where the land transfer exactly taken place, what land they have given in terms of replacement? Because from the university we have a legal document claiming that there is no transfer at taken place, because that time they have taken 540 acres of the land, and rest of the land they have not given any replacement. So where did that land go? Did they allot that land to TF or NAB or some other area? We just want to know where is that replacement went, where is that leftover piece of land which was not given to university till date.
Right. And beyond land ownership, is this protest about something larger, academic freedom, police action, police suppression, or political interference?
This protest is about academical freedom. This protest is about wildlife. This protest is about biodiversity, saving the biodiversity. So we all know the percentage of forests in Hyderabad is 0.05%, and recently there is one report released. If this deforestation takes place, there is up to a difference of 4 degrees increase in the temperature. So you can estimate there is how different the wildlife or the biodiversity is going to be changed. So this fight is not only about the land, this fight is also about the biodiversity.
Right. Let me go to other guests now. Of course, we heard from the students who are protesting there. The loud noises uh, in the backdrop. They are on a strike. They have boycotted the classes. If I may ask you, Vishnu Vardhan, the Congress government says that misinformation is being fueling the protests. How do you respond?
Where is the misinformation? Thank you, Zafar, for inviting me onto the show. First of all, I would like to point out that a couple of days ago, there was a press note that was officially released by the Hyderabad Central University. In the press note, it was clearly mentioned that the state government, the Congress government, has not conducted any survey, as they claim last year, and there was no demarcation of the 400 acres that is in contention at this point of time. So when the university is very clearly stating that there was no survey done, there was no demarcation, how could the government take this extreme step of deploying dozens of JCBs, as you can see in the visuals, work all through the night and rip apart and create a rampage and go through the flora and fauna, rich flora and fauna of nearly 400 acres in the heart of Hyderabad? There are a couple of basic questions for the state government that everybody should be asking. I would completely agree with what the students are saying there just before I spoke. First thing is, what was the emergency for the state government to drag students who were protesting peacefully and democratically on their own campus to safeguard their own lands? What was the need for the state government to drag them out, to tear their clothes, to beat them up, to lodge them in the police station, to make them sit on the floors, send to remand a couple of students? Number one. Number two, when there was a public interest litigation already pending in the court of law, there is an NGO called WATA, which has filed a public interest litigation on March 28th. The state government has asked for 10 days to reply to that notification. And before the 10 days, when there was a public holiday followed by a weekend, we all know that the courts are shut down on the weekends and on public holidays, Saturday, Sunday, followed by Ugadi and Ramzan. The state government overnight deploys dozens of bulldozers, earth movers, as if they are waging a war, and they rip apart the rich flora and fauna. What was the emergency? What was the need when the bill was pending in the court? You have asked for 10 days time. You could have waited for those 10 days, give a reply to the court, and then have the deliberations with the university authorities. When crystal clearly the university is saying that the state government did not consult them, did not do the survey, did not earmark, and when the bill was pending in the court of law, unless there is a conspiracy or unless there is a something that the public need not know, what was the emergency of the government to do such sort of a massive destruction in the heart of Hyderabad? These are the basic questions that the state government has to answer. And just not this, even the chief minister, Mr. Revant Reddy, on the floor of assembly, he makes very callous and irresponsible remarks, saying that there was no wildlife in the 400-acre land that is in contention. But as you can see in visuals, there are journals published. In fact, the Hyderabad Central University has released a calendar at the beginning of last year, which shows the rich, wildlife and the biodiversity that exists on the campus. Now, how irresponsible are those remarks by the chief minister? And in fact, the deputy chief minister yesterday, he addresses a press conference and he makes statements that these are all, AI generated images and there is no such, wildlife on the campus and all. And another minister who goes overboard and he, belittles the agitation and the protest that is being done by the students by saying that they are all paid artists. I mean, opposition parties have sent paid groups to protest. These sort of remarks and carelessness and irresponsible statements it's unbecoming of the state government.
Right. Let's hear from Dr. Adanki Dayakar. Please respond. The point is, was there an environmental clearance taken before such action was done? And what was the need to rush through all of this, to move the students forcefully and to bring in dozens of JCBs to clear this land?
Yeah, good afternoon, dear panelists. This is a conspiracy of BJP and BRS people. Why? Because this is not a forest land. This is not a university land. It's cleared by Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court, apex court in India, These guys are always alleging. These guys are made of false statements. These guys are provoking the students. According to Supreme Court guidelines, we can move the clearance of the land. There is a restrictions also. There is a pond. We protect the pond. And also there is a biodiversity, means mushroom rock formations is there. So we are following the norms of the Supreme Court. If there is any objection from the Supreme Court or High Court, whatever bill, we can do and we can follow the rules and regulations of the courts and directions. So they are doing, BJP people are always doing a wrong notions. BRS people following the secret friends of the Telangana politics. First time, Kishan Reddy and Mr. Bundy, they make false allegations regarding the land. If there is any forest land, how can the government of Telangana involving that land? If there is any university land, how can we join the clearance in the land? You take previous proceedings. 397 acres already past governments are allocated to the university. You follow the Professor Aragopal. He is the professor of the HCU.
No, the point that you are raising, that you are saying that this is legally all right to do whatever is being done, but there is a public sentiment also. How can you ignore a public sentiment when students are protesting,
Of course, we
when there is
are
an
inviting.
outcry on the ground? Can you just ignore all of that and just go by the law?
No, no, Mr. Dear Afzal ji, Professor Hargopal represented a complete civil society representation day after yesterday. I think Mr. Bhatti, led by subcommittee of this land, they appealed that you please away from this land. Why? Because if this land belongs into Telangana government also, you can leave this land to Central University. But these guys are क्या है 200 acres they sell for 2 lakh crores, 400 acres for 3 lakh crores. Like this, they make a false propaganda. That's why these our students making a क्या है dharnas or rallies in the university against the government. So then we restrict the movement or dharna. That's it. But they have a right. They have to fight biodiversity. They
But
have a
but
right
but
to
if the
protect
government has
whatever.
already if the government has already made up its mind, then what is the use of that fight and that agitation? Because the students are forcibly removed, they are detained, and the government has
For
made up its mind that they are going ahead with this project. Then what
the
difference does it
first
make?
level,
Because their protests, their agitation will not help in the end.
फर्स्ट लेवल में पूरा ये बीजेपी बीआरएस पीपल आर प्रोवोकेटेड द स्टूडेंट्स.
Right,
Level 2 we manage the students with the facts, right? Now
okay. Uh,
they confine something true and something facts,
right,
then the withdraw the
right.
dharnas and all. So there is a political conspiracy of BJP BRS people. Don't do wrong false statements against to the Supreme Court of India, right?
Right.
This is my
I
humble
want
request.
I want to go across to Harsha. Harsha, the main point upon which this entire argument is being built by the government is that they are the owners of the land. Uh, but the court has issued interim stay on tree felling. Legally, how strong is the student's case against the government's claim of land ownership? The government is going to the town and saying that they are the owners of the land.
Good afternoon, Mr. Iqbal. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, insofar as the title dispute is concerned, the state government has actually won because this land was in 2004 January granted to one private company that was cancelled by the then subsequent Congress government. The person had filed a writ petition that was dismissed, I think, in 2024 March, and the SLP also was dismissed by the Supreme Court sometime in May last year. So the title of the government has been cleared, but issue is that HCU was never a party. So if tomorrow HCU is going to challenge the title ownership of this land vis-a-vis the government, that challenge still subsists. That's on the legal part. But regarding the second point, I mean, I'm saying something else. D Horse, who is the owner of the land? Even if it is a government land also, there are tons and tons of Supreme Court orders, starting from the December 1996 judgment by Mr. Kirpal's, the then Green Bench, which had expanded the definition of forest to include private lands as well, and even government lands which are not forest. They've brought in the concept of deemed forest or forest-like land, and there are certain restrictions imposed. In fact, there have been certain amendments made to the Forest Conservation Act in 2003, which are under challenge before the Honorable Supreme Court, which actually dilutes the definition of forest. And the Supreme Court has granted a stay. I mean, I don't know if others know or may not know, but I feel as a lawyer practicing in Supreme Court, the reason for this hurried up action seems to be something else. If you give me a minute, I'll explain the reason.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, please.
so there have been certain amendments made to the Forest Conservation Act, which are under challenge. So even as late as 3rd March 2025, which is last month, the Supreme Court had come down heavily upon all the states and the central government, saying that we passed directions 20 years back to set up expert committees and tell us those committees were supposed to look at all the lands within the state which can be called as forest, not necessarily already declared as forest, but
Right.
because of the forest cover, the flora and
Yes.
fauna, they are supposed to be treated as forest. And
Right.
Justice Gawai's bench today, who has actually given a stay, they are actually handling the matter. And the ASG had appeared on the last date. Aishwarya Bhati appeared, and they told all the states and the union to prepare this list by 31st March and upload them on 15th April 2025. And there are already interim orders which say that irrespective of who is the owner of the land, no trees can be cut. I mean, this is what the government has done now. I mean, I don't know if anyone's challenging, but that would actually be contempt of plethora of
Right.
Supreme Court orders, and it is ongoing matter. And they are
Right.
going to hear it at 3:45. So I don't know what's going to happen, but they're definitely in violation of the Supreme Court orders. It is
But
irrespective of the ownership.
but the government says that it's not a forest at all. But they don't. But perhaps the understanding is not that even if it is not a clear cut forest, but it comes under that ambit. You cannot cut trees like that and remove the vegetation the way that it is done.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying, that it is not forest in the regular definition of forest under the Forest Conservation Act 1980. They are right to that extent. It is a revenue land, whatever it may be.
Right.
But after December 1996, when the court had expanded the definition, and this applies to entire India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, it's covered. There even, in fact, there's something called private forests. In Goa, if you see, because I also appear for the Goa government, even private lands where they have forest species and 40% canopy density, they are also deemed as forest. And those guys, despite being owners, they cannot cut trees. I mean, this is private. So, I mean, government is definitely covered by it, and they've expanded. And even in February 25, March 25, court has passed orders directing the states not to cut a single tree. I mean, that's why it was being heard by Mr. Gawai's bench, and today's matter
Right.
is also again listed before Justice Gawai's bench. All these facts will come, but I mean, I'm not on the ownership. Ownership is
but
something
but
else.
but if the state asserts that it legally asserts that it is the owner of this land, what other options, legal options, do the protesters and the university have if they want to challenge that?
See, insofar as the title is concerned, I've read multiple articles, so I'm not sure. There's one version which says that there was an exchange of land in 2004 by the then registrar of HCU, wherein this 400 acres was given to the government, and they were given 397 acres of land in a subsequent survey number, I think 37, 38, something like that. So those are all factual aspects. But be that as it may, insofar as the allottee and government is concerned, government has won in Supreme Court, so the Telangana government is the owner of those lands. There is no quarrel. But if HCU wants to assert that that legal action is still available for them, because HCU was not a party to those legal proceedings, so that can't bind HCU, especially considering the issues of demarcation, because there might be an overlap of HCU land and this land, and also because of whether that transfer was legally valid, not valid, agreed to. So that recourse they can have. But I'm saying, just to stop the cutting of trees, that they can easily go to the Supreme Court and say that, look, there are multiple orders, even as late as 3rd of March 2025. That matter is still pending. I think it's coming in September now. But
Right.
it's an ongoing matter. The whole Godavarman matter, if you know the PIL matter, 1996 TM Godavarman matter, it's pending before Justice Gawai's bench. That's their anyways going to hear it 3:45, and I think that will come up soon. I think in the next 10-15 minutes. But yeah, they can always go and approach the Supreme Court for this.
Right. That's an important point. Vishnuvardhan, if I may come back to you, critics would say that this is just an opportunity for the opposition to corner the Congress. How much genuinely you're concerned about the environment, and particularly this stretch of land that's becoming a big issue where students are protesting and opposition has also come in.
See, basically, as far as BRS party is concerned and our leader KCR Garu is concerned, uh, we are not talking about green cover today or about saving green cover. We are talking about
Right. We seem to have some problem with the connection there. But if we can again go back to
70
the
crore
pictures.
saplings that were planned.
Yeah. Now we can hear you. There was a brief
Can you hear me?
interruption. Please speak on. Yes.
Sorry about that. So, as far as BRS party is concerned and our leader, Honorable KCR Garu, is concerned, see, today is not the first day that BRS party or BRS leadership is talking about saving green cover. Our track record speaks volumes. The numbers speaks for themselves. Between 2014 and 2023, in the 9-year tenure, uh, the state government under the leadership of KCR Garu has planted over 270 crore saplings under the scheme called Haritaharam to improve the green cover. In 2014, when the state was formed, it was only 24%, but by the time KCR Garu got down from the government, it went up to 32%. And these are not the numbers that I am quoting or I am claiming. The Congress government's website, MCR clearly states that there was a 7.7% increase in the green cover in this tenure. Number one. Number two, even in the Lok Sabha, in the parliament, in 2021-22, the union government has clearly issued a table with details of the green cover that has increased across all the states between 2016 and 2022, and Telangana is at the table. Number two. Number three, the India, which does not come under the ambit of state government, it has raised a report that the green cover has increased by 147% in the 10-year period, which is the highest in India. I'm talking about Hyderabad in specific.
Right. Right. Uh, yes, there's again some network problem there. But if we can have those
followed by
visual.
the World Green City Award after beating 18 cities like Paris,
Right.
Mexico City, Bogota, and Montreal. All these cities were outbeaten, and Hyderabad won the World Green City. These are not the awards or claims that the BRS party is claiming for itself. These are the international organizations like the United Nations, the Union Government, the Forest Survey of India. These have crystal clearly surveyed and given out that the green cover has increased in the tenure when Garu was at the helm of administrative affairs. But now what is happening is, in front of our eyes, the flora and fauna is being destroyed. That too in the midnight hours. Unless there is a conspiracy by the Congress government to take over this land and show it as a barren land in the court of law, why are they in such a hurry? And today our working president KTR Garu has expressed and he has clearly told that when BRS party comes back to power, obviously it will come back to power in another 3 years, we will take this 400 acres and we will make it Telangana's largest eco park, biodiversity park.
It is an urban it is an urban forest, and there is a great emphasis on the preserving urban forests in urban areas, because those act like lungs, and for a city which is always on the edge of choking. But if we may again, use those visuals where students are lathi charge, they are moved uh, to detention center. If we can have those visuals again up. Dr. Adhanki Dayakar, you saw those visuals. Your government campaigned on student rights and transparency. Why are students now facing this violent police crackdown? Okay, we seem to have some problem with the
Hello.
connection there. Can you hear me? I'm saying that if you saw those visuals that students were lathi charged, your government has campaigned on student rights and transparency, but why are students at the receiving end now? Why are they facing violent police crackdown? We saw those images of students being lathi charged, forcibly moved into police buses and taken to police station.
Hello.
Yes, yes, please. Did you hear my question? Okay.
Hello.
I, I yes, I can hear you. Did you hear my question? Okay, there's some problem with the line there till we get it fixed. Let me go back to the students. We heard you. You said that you are continuing with your strike and you are protesting, and those protests will uh, continue. But is there is there no way that this strike would end, or you just want everything to be retracted and then only you can end your agitation?
Okay, before I answer this, I have a couple of questions to be asked. So, as per the discussion, we have heard that 400 acres of the land was given to the government as a replacement. So, that itself says that this land belongs to university and this was given for the development. The second question was they are claiming that they have given this land as a replacement. So, I would like to know where is the documents, legal documents, which says that we have replaced the land after taking 400 acres of the land. And the third question I would like to know, as they are mentioning this land doesn't have any forests over here, so we can, even right now we can open Google Earth and we can go back and look whether there are any forestation happening over there or not. We can clearly see there is a green covering over there which says that there is a lot of plantations and there is lot of huge forests around this 400 acres of the land. And coming back to your question, we are not going to stop this protest unless we claim back our land, because this land belongs to University of Hyderabad and this land will always be for University of Hyderabad.
Right. Dr. Adinki Dayakar, if you can
Yeah.
hear us now, can you hear us now?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You heard the student representative saying that if at all that transfer has happened, where are those papers? Where are those documents? Now, that is one of the points that he's putting across. The second thing is, of course, the police high handedness. Uh, you know, we can see from those visuals the way that students are lathi charged. Your government campaigned on students' rights and transparency. Why are now students at the receiving end? Why are they facing such violent police crackdown?
Yep. First of all, that is revenue land. So they don't know the what type of land, what is the land credentials. If you remember, Mr. Rashek Reddy, he fight against the grabbers, right? My next CM, Mr. Roshi also, and Kiran Kumar Reddy. Now my present CM Revant Reddy also fight against the grabbers, right? These BRS people allocated 23 acres to their friends. If the land of the 400 acres, if the movement going on, when they stopped the conversion or movement, they want to reallocate their Billy Rao and company or IMG Bharata. So that is the intention of the BRS and BJP. These people are interlinked with Pink Lotus Media in Telangana, a section of media. So they run the movement and all political drama in the ground, right? Supreme Court of India said that it is the government of Telangana's right. Bole to, these guys are why they are doing the wrong job, right? Professor Aragopal is the credential icon of the Telangana movement and Telangana personality. Just they can check with him. He is the old professor of the Central University. My
Right,
government always follows, respects courts and directions of the tribunals,
right,
authentic agencies. If there is any against rules of the National Game Tribunal or Forest Land Acts, whatever, we can follow the government federal democratic principles.
Right.
So
Let him
Telangana government or
let
Revant.
let Vishnu Vardhan respond. The point is that your government also prioritized infrastructure development in Hyderabad. Now, your party is criticizing the Congress for deploying this bulldozer politics. But wouldn't BRS have done the same for a 30,000 crore IT park, or you would have done something different?
See, the BRS government in the 9.5 years, we proudly said that, Telangana has emerged as the state with the highest per capita income, with the fastest GSDP growth, with the highest per capita consumption of power, etc., etc. All other metrics and numbers out there for everybody to see how Telangana progressed in the last 9.5 to 10 years under the leadership of KCR Garu. Number one. Number two, when we specifically talk about IT and agriculture, Telangana is one rare model which our leaders keep saying that it is the most successful startup state of independent India. The reason why we say is that the model itself is integrated, inclusive, and holistic and balanced. When I say that IT and agriculture has grown beyond leaps and bounds in the 9.5 years of KCR government. I'll quote the numbers. These are not my numbers. These are the numbers published by the NASCOM, the IT industry. When KCR Garu took over as the chief minister, IT exports were about 57,000 crores in Telangana. But by the time he got down from office, it went up to 2,57,000 crores. There was massive increase in the jobs that were created from 3 lakh to nearly 10 lakh IT jobs in Telangana in those 10-year period. The same time, the agriculture has grown by over
No,
350%.
but
So
that
what
is
I'm
the
saying
whole
is,
point. Would you have done anything differently?
despite this exponential growth, there was never a single incident of what we are seeing today on the ground, where there are bulldozers rampaging across the flora and fauna, where the students are being dragged away, they are being detained, they are being thrashed, they are being sent to remand. There was
They
no such
acquired
incident.
20,000 acres. They
And
acquired
even my
20,000 acres
dear friend and a
in past 10 years.
spokesperson from Congress, he's making some sweeping remarks which doesn't have any credibility. He says,
Okay.
the BRS party has given away to his friends. Now, this is the attention
Yes,
diversion tactic that
it
the
is
Revant
true.
Reddy government has been
It's true.
employing since
Right.
they came to power.
See,
All they have
see,
did is,
the
made
True.
politics,
these,
of
and to divert
course,
the attention of the people, they are
the
making this
political
based.
parties have their views about this issue, both the opposition and the ruling party. But it has wider ramifications. When students don't attend the class, they are on a strike. Education suffers. There are environmental concerns. There are legal concerns as well. Harsha, last word to you. How do you see this situation developing here on? Because it's got into legalities, and there are student protests, there is police action, the opposition and the government are also fighting it out. How is it going here on?
Uh, I think today we'll get a better picture by the end of the day, because both, I think at 2:15 the High Court has already started hearing the matter again, and at 3:45 the Supreme Court, I think in the next few minutes, will start the hearing. Because Supreme Court, the issue is of different, because Supreme Court is already seized of the Godavarman matter, where this whole issues have already come up.
Right.
So, but I think from what I've read, and because I follow the Godavarman matter, I'm also involved for certain parties. I feel that prima facie they are in violation of the Supreme Court orders. Dehors the ownership. I'm not going on the ownership part, because
Right.
even if it's a private land, university land, government land, revenue land, it doesn't matter. There's a concept called deemed forest or
Yeah.
forest like land. There no trees can be cut down.
Yes.
That they have clearly violated. And the urgency, because many people thought Eid and all that, but the urgency is actually something else. They had to file this
Yeah.
affidavit by 15th April. So before that, they wanted to cut the trees, is what it appears. I mean, otherwise, if you waited for 20 years, heavens are not going to fall if you wait for one more month. I mean, you can
Absolutely.
always do a survey. I'm not into the
Right.
politics part. I'm a lawyer, but I'm just saying that the way it was clandestinely done from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, when it was a long weekend, it doesn't inspire confidence. I mean, end of the day, one should repose confidence. The people should feel confident. I mean, they should have taken the students along, is what I feel. Yeah.
Right. And perhaps the students were not taken along, and everybody was not taken along, and that's why we're seeing this outcry. But of course, it's an issue that snowballed into a major controversy. But thanks so much to all our panelists for joining us today and for sharing their thoughts. And thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo story. Harsha, you want to?
Yeah, just one.
Harsha, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, coming from Hyderabad, having grown up in the city, I can say this much, that if you ever go have a chance to visit Hyderabad, please do go. In fact, in all 4-5 corners of Hyderabad, there are a lot of these urban forest parks which have been set up in the last many years. And even the KBR National Park, there's such a nice greenery. I mean, this 400 acres would actually add to that greenery.
Yes.
I mean, as a citizen of Hyderabad and someone who
Right.
loves nature, it's
Of
a
course,
travesty.
that's the big question, whether government has factored all that in. But thanks so much for tuning in and for watching the Mojo story.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me. Thanks.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.